Hey, what's going on? Dom Lau here for Asia Pop 40. Still kicking it in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, in Tinseltown. And of all the people that you find here in LA, one of them is Yuna. Sat with me right now. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well now that you're here.
Oh, no, I'm
I'm a huge
Thank you
fan.
so much for having me.
Well, because living out in Asia, I'm a visitor here, and I've always been a fan of your work.
Thank you.
And actually, I wish we talked to each other during my Channel V days, because that would have been fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, I used to watch your show when I was like in high school.
No way.
Yeah. So, it's really cool to be finally being interviewed by
Dom Lau.
Dom, yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I said it creepily like that. But anyways, so let's start from the very beginning. Obviously, you have a slew of fans, not only in Asia, but now all over the world, which is awesome, by the way. We'll get to that later on. But you have a slew of fans, but you also got potential fans, I'm gonna call them, because there's people out there who have been listening to your music now. We're talking about Crush. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. But let's start from the very beginning and educate these people as to who and what Yuna is. So, first of all, you're from Malaysia.
I am from Malaysia, born and raised, and I had like a normal Malaysian childhood. Like I was a normal Malaysian kid. Went to school. Loved music. Like I was singing probably as long as I can remember. Like maybe I was like 5 or 6 when I started singing, and I got into music like pretty early. Like when I was 12 or 13, I was already going for auditions and stuff like that. So I was really like trying to make it, ever since I was like a little girl. But I graduated high school, and then I went to law school, and that was when everything kind of like slowed down a little bit. I kind of like gave up
As far as the education
on my
thing?
dreams. Yeah.
Okay.
So so I went to law school, and then I think in my final year, I started making friends with a lot of local independent musicians, and that changed my world. I was like looking at, I was looking at music in a very different way. It was a whole different like game. These were people who were making their own music, performing at their own gig. Like they organized their own gig so that their fans can come. These are their own, like their fans and their friends can come and perform as well. So I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, wow, like I want to be a part of this community. And that's how I started learning how to write songs and play the guitar. And I found my bandmates. They helped me a lot, in my first years of making music. They helped me in like kind of just like getting my stuff together, like performing. And
I mean, because you've got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And what was really cool is that you, as you say, you found these people, fellow musicians.
Yeah.
And you're like, I had no idea this kind of thing existed. It's like,
I think two weeks ago I was back home in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and I saw some of my friends who were performing, and these were like friends from like way back, like 10 years ago.
Day.
Like we started like a band together, and they have like a post-rock band, and they were performing like
wow.
At Laundry, so it was really cool.
What's it like though in that situation where they're performing at the Curve at Laundry, and you walk in, and are they like? Do people look at you and kind of go, "Oh my gosh, it's Yuna! Wow!" And like everyone's going, "Holy crap, it's Yuna!" Or do you just walk in and everyone's like totally chill, totally cool, and they say maybe like, "Get up on stage, let's jam."
I mean, for this show, this one particular show, I actually missed it. I was kind of bummed, but whenever I do that, like, I sometimes like still go to my friends' like gigs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's a little bit different now. I used to be in the crowd, like I loved being in the crowd together with the fans. And like a couple of years ago, I could probably still do it. People like around me would be like, oh, what's up? Like, I love your music. And then they would still like respect
the band that was performing,
whatever that was
stuff.
going on. And but now I feel like it's kind of difficult to do that, and now I just like watch from the side stage, so it's just to like let them have their moment,
Their
and
moment.
I can have like I can enjoy the show as well
without people coming up to you and like constantly hassling you.
But this is
and
only
stuff.
like back in Malaysia. Like I love my fans, and but whenever I see them, they'll ask for photos, and I'll just like take photos.
That's
with
great.
them. Yeah.
Malaysia have among some of the best fans in the world, I think.
Yeah, no, they're really cool.
Yeah.
They're really out there. Like I love Singaporean fans as well, but they're a little bit shy and like timid, you know, like they're like, okay, like
but it's incredible because, you know, it's whilst they are like that, and I actually sometimes every now and then I'll get like tweets or something saying, Dom, was that you having dinner at like Publico and stuff like that?
Oh, they're
and I'm like
super polite.
I was like, yes, it was me.
Why didn't you say hi?
Yeah, why didn't you say hi? That kind of stuff. Talk to me about how you and Pharrell started working with each other.
I think it was my first album deal, and you know, I was signed to the Fader label, and they were, you know, super supportive. They were really, you know, just really they were supportive of my my talent and my career, my music career, and they wanted me to kind of just like try out with like Pharrell. And I'm like, duh, of course, you know, let's do it.
So you were like, no, let me sleep on that.
Think about it. Actually, you know what? There was a point when I was just like, I was really, really nervous. So I kind of like told them, I don't know if I'm ready yet. You know, like this is my first time like working with producers. Like I probably worked with like 1 or 2 producers before I worked with Pharrell, so I was still new in, you know, like getting used to working in the studio, like long hours and recording, and then like boom, like here
there you
Pharrell,
are. Here's
you know?
Pharrell.
Yeah,
you might have heard of him.
Like there was no preparation like time for that. I flew out from Malaysia to Miami. And then I got into a cab, like I got to his studio, and then he was like coming up from his car. There was like no time. No,
it was straight into work. It was
like straight into work. Like
wow.
Straight like, oh, hi Pharrell, like I'm Yuna.
Yeah. There was no time to go, oh my gosh, it's you.
I'm kind of tired, but let's do this.
Wow.
So, yeah, but it was a lot of fun. He was really nice. And, you know, like some of the songs from my first self-titled album came from him. So I'm really, you know, like I'm really thankful that he was, you know, there to kind of just like help me like build my career.
Sure.
So.
Now let's fast forward to now. Crush is crushing the competition on the Asia Pop 40 Countdown, and indeed all over the world. But this is the most important chart right here. Okay. Asia Pop 40. You are now into top 10 territory, so congratulations.
That's awesome.
You are
Thank
sharing
you so
breathing
much.
space with Justin Bieber, Adele, Selena Gomez. So that's an amazing achievement, so congratulations.
That's so cool. Thank you.
How did that all come about? How did you and Usher come to meet and work together?
I met Usher about 2 years ago for the first time. I went to see him, like he was rehearsing for his tour, and it was just like this one night, like I was getting ready for bed, and then my manager called me up, and he was like, hey, so do you want to come and, you know, like drive with me to see Usher? I'm like, why? I'm like, oh no, we're just gonna like have a chat like with him, like he loves your music. I'm like, really? See, this is what's crazy about like LA, like making music in America. Like you just don't know like where your music would end up, like, you know, the corners of
like whose table your CD might end up on.
And iPod, you know what I mean? Like
did I
iPhone.
say CD? Wow. Okay, granddad. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So we met, and then we talked about music and stuff like that. He was asking me like, oh, what's your new project? You know, like, well, I'm not working on anything right now, but in the future I'll let you know. So he's like, yeah, sure, tell me, like, let me know. And then like we'll work something out. I'm like, okay, cool. So fast forward a year and a half later, maybe, I was writing Crush, and it was just me on the track. And I listened to it. It's a sweet song, but it's just like, to me, it was so slow and it was boring, you know? So
I need a man on this track.
Yeah, I know. It was missing something. Like, to me, I'm like, if I was like listening to this, I wouldn't enjoy it, you know, like me. So this song is a kind of like a reminiscent of like a early 2000 R&B,
right?
Which I used to listen to, like when I was like growing up. And I'm like, who should we, you know, like have on this track? Like, there's obviously a lot of talented young R&B singers out there, like male R&B singers, but I'm just like, in my head, it's just like, oh no, we need Usher on this. So Usher only. And then I told my manager, hey, so, you know, like I want Usher on this track. Do you think, like, you know, we can ask him? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, should we like hit up like anybody else? I'm like, no, just Usher.
Just Usher.
No, just Usher. So he came back, and then he said yes. So we sent over the song. I didn't hear from him for like 2 months or so.
Oh, no way.
And then I was back in Malaysia for Raya. I was in my baju kurung. I was like hanging out. It's hot, like in kampung, right? So like really hot. But there's Wi-Fi in my kampung because we have like a lot of like teenagers like lying around on their phones.
Like they need Wi-Fi.
Like Snapchat or like Instagram. And so I was doing work. I was like checking my email, and then like I got an email from my manager. I'm like, hey, so like Usher, like sent back this track, and I'm like, oh my god, like he actually sent whatever that you're hearing now, like on Crush. That's the version.
That's the version that you got.
That's the version that I got. Like he just finished it. Like he gave like his 110%.
Wow.
Just like, all right, like this is This is Crush now.
I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing right now.
Can you imagine? I couldn't tell anybody, obviously, because like I can't really like say anything.
Yeah, you had to wait until the song was released, right?
And this was like last year in June or July.
So there you are
like,
with all your family and everything. You just get off the phone, you're like...
I'm like, oh my god! Like I know, I was like listening to the track. That's what I was doing. Like, and then I showed the track to my mom, and my mom's like, oh, that's great.
Your mom's so cool.
Oh, well done.
Oh, bless.
Now it's out, so imagine like my...
Now your buddies and friends and fans are all going crazy about it.
But you know what was fun though? Like playing it for my friends. Like, hey, so just listen to this. Like I played it in their car, just like driving. Like, who is this? Like, who is this? No, just guess. Just guess. Yeah. And like immediately, like they listen to Usher when he hits like, and then they just went like crazy, like, oh my god, this is Usher on your track. So that was like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll bet. And all that's left for me to say now is terima kasih.
Oh, terima kasih. Right? Oh, sama-sama, yeah.
Thank you so very much, Yuna. It's been an absolute honor to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope our paths meet again because, it's so much fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, have me back again on the show. Like,
you bet.
High
five me.
Come on, you're like VJ Dom. Come on. Like, duh.
You're like Yuna.
It's like watching TV.
Really? Oh, gosh. Anyways, rock and roll. All the very best to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yuna, ladies and gentlemen.
Asia Pop 40.